My name is Natalia. I've been in the industry for the last 15 years now. I'm working for Portnov Computer School. I'm pretty happy in here, and let's just cover the major things that is going on the market, because if you happen to have a job in a mobile application testing, then you'll have to go a little bit inside the industry news and regulations and certifications. So what is the biggest news right now on the market? On the market, we have some Samsung backup. You know, probably some of you even have these devices. So the original problem was with the Galaxy Note 7, which Samsung released a couple of months ago. And the biggest issue was battery that was, exploding. And so they released a fix which keeps this battery at 60%, the highest, but it didn't help too much. So the Galaxy S7 Edge was released later as a replacement, and also had the same problem. So right now, the Samsung is literally under fire for the exploded batteries. And please, while I'm saying this, if you own this device, if somebody who you know having this device, please return it to Samsung for the full refund. It's a safety issue, and please do yourself a favor, your friends a favor. We often live with our phones, we sleep with our phones, and we usually have it next to us, and if there is a problem with the battery, then please return it. So Apple news, like a few months back, Apple released the iPhone 7 Plus that had some pretty sophisticated features. And what they announced is the iPhones, they called the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. Why I'm covering this? Because if you happen to be in the mobile application testing, then you will have to know the latest trends, the latest features. For iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, the major feature that it's lacking a headphone jack. So the new iPhone have a revised home button with force sensitivity, which will vibrate to give feedback. It's water resistant. The Plus model of the new iPhone included dual lens camera to take professional grade photos. A new Apple Watch called Apple Watch Series 2, which includes GPS. Pokemon Go is available for Apple Watch. An update on how Apple Music is performing, and tweaks to its iWork suite of productivity apps. So basically, there is a whole bunch of functionalities that Apple implemented with the new phones. But at the same time, I personally found at least a few features that were basically already in Android, and it's a dual rear cameras on iPhone 7 Plus, which is very resembles the Android, and the water and dust resistance, which also was on Android, stereo speakers, and the quad-core chipset. So there are many features. If you're interested about that, just Google it and see what actually Apple implemented that iPhone had. So let's just start with our lecture, and we're gonna cover most of the networking and the mobile ecosystem. All right, hold on just 1 second. Let me see. So since you guys online and we don't have like a direct communication with you, we will have to communicate through the Google Drive account and Google Mail. So it required to have. you need to have a flash drive, and to do the testing and actually learn, you have to have a mobile phone, or iPhone or Android, whatever you have, next to you, because we're going to have some exercises that I would ask you to do. And of course, the desire to have your purpose to learn, and be ready to go out of a comfort zone, because this is what QA field is all about, and motivation to become independent but reliable QA. And since you guys are online, is actually the very, very good thing that you can do something solo. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me, to send me via Skype, and I will give you instructions a little bit later. And please don't take everything for granted. You paid for it, but it's our obligation and our willingness for you to learn and to become who you want to become. So this is basically the overview of the mobile ecosystem. Since this is my online class, we're gonna go with our regular pace, and we will cover as much as we can for this first hour. We have 14 hours ahead of us, not counting today. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go through some lectures, and we're also gonna have a project. It's a live project. I'm gonna give you the multimedia project to test. It's pretty fun. You guys are gonna learn how to work on the media files, like a video, audio, and image files. It's a clip mix. This application is a native application. I will explain to you later what a native, hybrid, and web application is. If you don't know, you're gonna learn it. We're going to have a live backtracking database, Bugzilla, where you can file your findings, and we're going to report. I'm going to ask you at probably at our lesson 3 to collaborate with the backtracking database and to verify whatever the previous students left for you. And it's going to be lots of individual work. But for now, we have to go through the basic, the core stuff that we have to learn before actual testing started. So, overview is going to be, we're going to start from mobile world statistics, because I think it's important for you to know. And it does not really matter what background you have. And I always tell my students, especially when I'm in class, it's much easier to interact with students. And I ask them, what background do you have? And most people, they don't have IT background, but they do backgrounds in the finances, the customer relations, chemistry, biotech, anything. And I said, do you think you're abandoning your skills, your background? And most answers are, yeah, you know, what can we do with our education, with our background? And I said, I look at this differently. I look at this that you are learning new tools, how to use your background in the future. And I will explain to you why. Because mobile technology is everywhere. Everything is going mobile. So if the person is having a customer relation, there is a CRM database, customer relations management. If the person is in biotech, there is plenty of work in testing field to test the chemicals. Finances, there is a banking applications. I mean, the world is going mobile, and there is no way we're going back. So you're basically extending your knowledges and learning new tools, how to use your background. So today we're going to start from the mobile world statistics. And as you can see, the top apps in North America right now by installs and by daily active usage is the Facebook, Messenger, Instagram. Actually, everything you see in here, I bet like 80% of you guys can recognize your activity. Look at this by daily use active usage, the Candy Crush saga. Actually, this is the biggest app that was successfully launched in 2012, and it was the biggest hit since the Angry Birds. And trust me, also it's free app. These people made billions, and I'm repeating, billions of dollars over the years because of the power balls that people are buying from them to complete the levels. So that was the biggest success in the app history, and it's also daily usage of these apps. So Facebook, WhatsApp, Messenger, we use it every day. We communicate with our relatives, we send pictures, we talk to them, and this is basically the apps that are used daily, and people are spending time on it. So we have also statistics for the fastest growing apps categories, and as you can see, I have a data for 2015 versus 2014 because when we are at the end of the year, but the statistics are not released yet. So as you can see, the personalization apps is growing 332%. That's a lot because we want app to suit our needs. We personalized apps to use for our daily activities. We need them to be productive. So we're also abandoning news and magazines in order to have it online. We wake up in the morning, the first thing we do, we get to our phone to see what's going on in the world. Utilities and productivity, lifestyle and shopping. I bet that most people are shopping online. I personally didn't go to the store for a long time. Travel and navigation, we order our tickets. And we're just looking for the best deals. There are so many apps that are giving us an opportunity to compare the prices. Sports, health and fitness, we wear the wearable devices to check our blood pressure, to measure our steps, and to just monitor our health otherwise. Messaging and social is on the rise, 51%. We communicate with our peers, with our colleagues, even if they're in the next cubicle, we send them an email, a text, and this is what we do. We're abandoning the postcards, the letters. The post office is suffering losses. It's just because we are going mobile. Music, media, and entertainment, it's all on our phones. We love them. We treasure our albums, we treasure our playlists, we spend a lot of money to download the legal music, or we don't spend money to download illegal music, breaking the rules. And the games are down. Why the games are down? And this is simple explanation, is because people are aiming for the games with the basic virtual reality features. So they go for set-top boxes. The experience they want to have is simply impossible to do on the mobile phones because of the games become so complicated. The features of the games require the high definition audio and video to get this experience. So, and this is basically the statistics. There was a survey in 2015. They asked about 1,000 people to compare mobile apps versus mobile websites. And as you can see, most people reported it's more convenient. The apps are more convenient, faster, easier to browse, and it's a better user experience. It's easier to check bank accounts, so I'm pretty sure most of us are going mobile for banking. And easier to shop, like I mentioned already in my previous slide, that we are too lazy. We enjoy the convenience of shopping from home. 3% of the people told they don't care, no preference, 11%, and just 1% out of this people told that they prefer mobile websites. So this is fine. It's their preference, but the rest of us, we are enjoying mobile. Actually, right now, all the companies who are reputable, they are having their own version of app from the website. So they don't want to lose money, and it's a lot of money, and they develop their own mobile apps to not to lose this money. So why I'm giving you this slide, what is putting the strain on the mobile networks? Because there is a regulation from the industry standard to check your app that you're going to be testing while you are connected to the network traffic. So you will have to test your application, and we will have later the test cases and test suites to check our app against the YouTube and Facebook and Google and Netflix and Instagram. So it's going to be a lot of work because industry dictates your application to be running, resuming, and stopping under certain condition and behave the certain way. So all of this, I promise you, we're gonna learn during our 15 hours of mobile application testing. So this is an internet usage. It's for mobile, desktop, and other connected devices. And if you can see, there is plenty of mobile mobile application users and time spent per adult per day with digital media. This is the comparison from 2008 until 2015 and year to date, and you can see that the mobile application users are, consistently rising their numbers. So the most important is our carriers and service providers. This is what operates our phones. This is people who provide the service. We can love them, we can hate them, but when we are choosing our phones, we basically rely on these carriers and service providers. So let's just get a small overview of what United States have, and we're gonna cover only the United States statistics, because in Europe and Asia the statistics are different, and I will explain to you why, and you will understand why a little bit later after we complete a few more slides. So there are basically 5 major carriers and service providers right now in the United States. It's US Cellular, Verizon Wireless, Sprint, AT&T, and T-Mobile. I'm pretty sure each of you have the same one of these providers who is giving the service on your phone. This is the statistics of the subscriber data in millions. And you can see that the Verizon Wireless is pretty much leading the market with 141.4 million subscribers, then followed by AT&T Mobility and the T-Mobile and Sprint and US Cellular. So Verizon Wireless, they're located in New Jersey, and it's a subsidiary of the Verizon Communications. And AT&T Mobility is quartered in Atlanta, Georgia, and a subsidiary of AT&T Incorporation. You probably gonna be surprised that the T-Mobile US, they located in Washington, is a subsidiary of German telecommunication company T-Mobile International AG, and Sprint. They're in Kansas, and the majority of Sprint owned by Japanese company SoftBank Corporation. So, and US Cellular, it's a pure in the United States. They are in Illinois, and they are United States Cellular Corporation. So just for your information, this is what we have right now. And when you're gonna do your testing, you're gonna have a device fragmentation. What is device fragmentation? You're gonna be testing devices with different screen sizes, with different providers, with a different technology, with a different iOS or OS. So there's so much work to do and to make sure that the application that you are going to be testing is compatible to majority of the devices. Later with our lectures, I'm going to show you and tell you how to simulate the device that you don't have. There is a special tools to do it. The simulation of majority devices could be found in Xcode or Android Studio. This is the tools where these applications are developed, and we're going to cover that too a little bit later. So the carriers and service providers, they have their own responsibilities. They install cellular towers, they make services available for mobile subscribers, they operate cellular network, and they handling billing, support, and sales. Every service provider is responsible for these 4 activities. This is how we get our service and our network quality and connectivity. This one, the network is one of the biggest probably lectures that and modules that we're going to be covering. And I'm going to explain to you the types of the networking that we currently have. So the cellular network architecture consists basically of 5 major points. It's a mobile equipment, and this refers to the physical phone itself. So you have the phone, and the phone is operating on a cellular network. There is a small picture at the bottom, and you can see how the network architecture operates. So it's basically have a base transceiver stations, and it's just a simple antenna that you see installed on the top of the tower. Can you see it? The tower. And base transceiver station is the mobile phone's access point to the network. So basically it's responsible for carrying out radio communications between the network and the mobile phone. And what is the cell? Well, we call our mobile devices a cell phone. So what is a cell? Is a base station. It's a transmitter that having a number of radio frequency channels, and it's called a cell. So each cell covers a limited number of mobile subscribers within the cell boundaries and the coverage area. This is basically dictates the providers how many subscribers are covered. So its cell size and capacity determines the number of cells available to cover geographic area. And a base station controller, it basically controls multiple base transceiver stations. Mobile switching center is the heart of GSM network. We're going to cover GSM network in the next slide. So it handles calls routing, call setup, basic switching functions, and so on. So cellular network architecture simplified. So we need cell phone, just a simple radio transmitter that sends signals to the towers. We need cell site towers, and you probably, when you go in the field, you see lots and lots of these cellular towers. And a hub, it's this is the connector that the tower communicates with. These hubs will either connect to other hubs or use satellite dishes to provide network connection back to the phone via the cell tower. So 3 components simplifies for the cellular network architecture. Okay, guys. Now we are getting to the point with the networking, GSM and CDMA. They're basically two systems, two network systems for networking systems for communication. So GSM standards is a global system for mobile communication, and it operates by AT&T and T-Mobile. So basically, the service that they provide is very, very similar to the other network, CDMA. They have voice calling, text messaging, data service, just whatever we use every day, whatever feature you have on your smartphone. The biggest difference for GSM is the SIM card, and a SIM card that could be switched to another phone. So what is SIM card? Subscriber identity module. This is how we call the SIM card. So, I would be wrong if I won't tell you that basically the whole world is operating on GSM network except the United States. In the United States, the CDMA network is bigger than GSM. So CDMA network is operated by Sprint, Verizon, and US Cellular. CDMA stands for Call Division Multiple Access. They basically the difference between CDMA and GSM is the CDMA uses the packet switching instead of the circuit switching. So as you can see, the service is the same with just like in GSM, but the features, it's the CDMA network is a 5 times up to GSM capability. So it is more secure because each phone is securely locked. It's used by military, and the Qualcomm, actually the company here in Silicon Valley, I pass it almost every day. Qualcomm is a monopolist, and for many, many years it designs the chips for CDMA ear interface. So another difference from GSM that CDMA phones cannot roam internationally, nor they can transmit voice and data at the same time like GSM handsets. And once you have CDMA, you're pretty much locked to your carrier. If you travel overseas a lot, if you using your phone a lot while traveling, just make sure that you have a GSM network and the phone that is using it, because also CDMA network could be covered from your provider. The connection, the quality of the service could be different in a plural side, you know, and so use the GSM phones than the CDMA when you're traveling, if you have a chance. So I'm these slides, I'm sorry guys, they were created for my in class, but I'm going at the end of the class, I'm gonna send you a link to this YouTube video so you can listen for the explanation, maybe a little bit detailed explanation for the difference from CDMA versus GSM. So LTE, probably you guys also heard this term. It stands for long-term evolution. It's developed by the third generation partnership project, 3GPP. And right now, LTE is on the top of the 4G. G stands for generation technology. And it's used for smartphones, tablets, netbooks, notebooks, and the wireless hotspots. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. But this is pretty much here in the United States. If you're having the quality of service, then the LTE is pretty much embedded to your 4G technology and your phones. So satellite is a part of the network, believe it or not, and compared to other forms of wireless internet service, satellite enjoys the advantage of availability because it's only requiring small dish antenna, satellite modem, and subscription plan. Satellite works in almost all rural areas and not serviced by other technologies. Actually, satellite, the first artificial satellite, and I'm pretty sure there are lots of Russian guys here in the group, it was used in Sputnik 1, and it started in 1957, and since then there are so many satellite launched into orbit. So we're basically talking about 24 satellites constantly surfacing around the orbit. And let's just get a little bit more inside of the satellite, what it is. So satellite navigation, there is abbreviation SatNav. It means using a portable radio receiver to pick up speed of live signals from the orbiting satellites. And the pretty interesting facts is that the best known SatNav system is your GPS, right? And it uses, like I told, 24 active satellites day and night, and it orbits the Earth every 12 hours. And GPS is owned by Department of Defense, so it's they put a lot of money, and in 1960 the Lockheed Martin developed the first GPS, and it launched successfully, and Lockheed Martin is one of the biggest companies that owned by Department of Defense. So let's talk about the GPS. GPS and satellites, they always come together. So The GPS device determines precise position, navigation and timing information by receiving signals from a constellation of those 24 satellites. And without satellites, there would be no GPS service. So GPS satellites powered by solar energy, and it has a backup batteries on board to keep them running constantly. Especially, and in case there is no solar power, they still run. So in 1978, the first GPS was officially launched by U.S. Department of Defense. Actually, all the Apollo spacecraft have these satellites and GPSs on board. Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi sometimes refers as a wireless fidelity, but it's just the marketing term. There is no official explanation what is wireless fidelity is. So to us, Wi-Fi is the Wi-Fi. So if you ask somebody, do you have wireless fidelity? Nobody is going to give you an answer. And it's just for your information. Don't try to use it or prank your buddies, but this is what it is. So Wi-Fi, it uses radio waves to provide wireless high-speed internet and network connections. And Wi-Fi is the name of popular wireless network technology, and they usually comply with the I2E 802.11 regulations. I'm going to show you a little bit what is I2E 802 regulation are. This is basically the industry standards for the wireless technology. And we'll see the difference between A, B, G, and N at the end of this 802.11, the numbers. You'll get the idea what it is. So this is basically the Wi-Fi frequencies, and we call this this technology I2E, so it's I, E, E, E. E is a square, 3 E's are a square. In the industry, we use I2E. So as you can see, we have 802.11a, 802.11b, 802.11g, and 802.11n. So the difference between these regulations is just the transmitting of data and the frequency level it's transmitting with. So basically the lightest one is the A. It can transmit data at the frequency level at 5 gigahertz. And B transmit data at the frequency level at 2.4 gigahertz. And actually 11G, it transmits data at 2.4 gigahertz, but it has a capability to transmit a max of 54 megabits of data per second. And this is the more advanced technology that is currently on the market. It has the small letter N, 802.11n, and it can transmit the maximum of 140 megabits of data per second. So again, guys, it might be boring stuff right now, but the main reason is when you're testing your mobile devices, and it doesn't matter what you test web application or you test mobile application, you have to know the industry standards, and that's why we're suffering, but we have to go through it. It's gonna become a little bit easier and not as boring later, I understand, but we need to know it as soon as we can and just get it over with. So hotspot is the our favorite kind of technology advance, you know, especially when we had roaming on our devices. Hotspot was free. We didn't have to pay for it. It's basically a physical location where people may obtain internet access, typically using Wi-Fi technology, via wireless local area network that we call WLAN, and using a router connected to the internet service provider. So equipment is inexpensive, and most, right now especially, most Wi-Fi hotspots remains free. So availability can be a problem because there's no good coverage in the rural areas. But it's still free, it's still very convenient, and we're still looking for the connection when we are traveling pretty much. So Bluetooth. Bluetooth is another type of the network, and Bluetooth is a wireless technology standard for exchanging data over short distances. Short distances, what we're talking about 30 feet, and it was first coined the term by Kevin Ashton in 1999 while working at Auto ID Labs. So Bluetooth is a wireless technology standard for exchanging data over short distances, creating personal area networks, PANs. We call it PANs, personal area networks, we call PANs, with high levels of security. So now comes the question, how does the Bluetooth work? So Bluetooth device uses radio waves instead of wires or cables to connect to a phone or computer. So a Bluetooth product like a headset or watch contains tiny computer chip with a Bluetooth radio and software that makes easy to connect. So when two Bluetooth devices want to talk to each other, they need a top ear. We call it top. So what is the difference between Bluetooth and Wi-Fi? So Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, they're both methods that provide wireless communication. But the difference between the two mainly stems from what are they designed to do and how they're used. Actually, the main difference is that the Bluetooth is primarily used to connect devices without cables, while the Wi-Fi provides high-speed access to the internet. So this is pretty much simple and easy to understand. So like I mentioned before, that the maximum distance for Bluetooth network is about 30 feet. It does not require too much power to be operated, and you know that your Bluetooth devices are using a very, very small batteries. It is slow even compared to 802.11b network standard, and there is no base station required for the Bluetooth communication between the devices. What's interesting, I put the fun fact because I just recently discovered it and thought maybe it's going to be fun to give it to my students, that everybody know this Bluetooth symbol, right? So, but not everybody know that this Bluetooth symbol is a bind runes. It basically consists of two runes that are connected together. And this is how the symbol came to the surface. So runes are the Asian Norse letters, and it was fun to just discover this fun fact about the Bluetooth. I didn't know until recently. So let's just talk about the network broadband. and the mobile broadband is the marketing term that we use for wireless internet access. Wireless wide area network, this is just another term. It's a general term used to describe the high-speed internet access from mobile providers for portable devices. The first wireless internet access became available in 1991 as a part of the second generation 2G of mobile phone technology. Actually, before the 2G came into the market, there was no such a term as a generation. So 1G phones, it was just the phones. There was no terminology. So the generations started from the second generation. So, and the cellular phones were largely inspired by landlines that are traditionally wired to the wall, and it worked in a similar way until recently. So once, how did it work? So once a landline call is in process, your line is blocked and you can use it for anything else, and this is called circuit switching. And remember, I was talking to you about the CDMA network, how it works. So it's basically replacing circuit switching to packet switching. So the broadband is when your telephone line is effectively split in two lines, a voice channel that works as before by circuit switching, and a data channel that can constantly send the packets of digital data to or from your computer by packet switching. We call it packet switching, which is the very fast and efficient way in which data is sent across the internet. So now you know the difference between packet switching and circuit switching, and how your network works and how mobile broadband works. So let's just peak speeds experienced by users are also often limited by the capability of their smartphone or other mobile devices. It depends on your provider. It depends of their networking, the mobile networking capability, data transfer, and speed. And if they're having the glitches, the slowdowns, you are experiencing fully on your phones. So we hate this when we cannot use our phone. It's our life, but it happens. The technology, the software breaks, hardware breaks. They're using lots of servers. They're using their capability, and it's huge because we saw it earlier how many subscribers each provider has. So it's hard to service everyone. So be patient. Maybe we can be after we learn how we operate the network, how the providers operate, and be in the industry, maybe we're going to become a little bit kinder to the service providers. So basically we do use cellular modems, and there are three main types of cellular modems. Cell phones, we can use our cell phone as a modem to enable access internet to the computers, and we call it tethering. We're going to cover also the tethering, the jailbreaking, the routing of the devices a little bit later. You will learn the terms for iPhones, Android, and Windows phones. For now, we're just going through the main types. So we have cellular cards. It's a portable network adapters that plug into the computers. Sometimes we call it air cards. And a cellular routers, it's again portable network routers that contain built-in cellular modems. So we all use this to connect to the internet, to communicate between the devices. And we do, this is basically three main types. Okay, guys, we're slowly getting to our devices, and we're going to be covering for the next 10 minutes. We're going to be covering the cell phones generation, the evolution, and I'm pretty sure most of you maybe do not remember 1G technology that actually was, available. It started in 1981, but it became partially available to the public because of its higher cost by 1983. And the first phone, the 1G that you see on your screens, believe it or not, it cost $4,000. At that time, in 1981, it was a huge, huge money to spend on a cell phone. So, first of all, it was not available widely to the public, but only people who had the capability of using it could use it because of the higher cost. Plus, it weighed probably 3-4 kilos, with the base. So, and the battery power, you could charge it overnight, and you only would have like 30 minutes of battery power before it goes dead. So I'm pretty sure that you guys, by 1992, you were a lucky owner of the Nokia 1100. This is the second generation of the cellular phones. It came in 1992. It was a biggest success, and I believe it was the biggest selling point for the Nokia at that time, with the 250 million units. So 3G technology came by 2004, and 4G technology came in 2011. The phones become more available. It became more sophisticated. And the 5G, we're going to talk separately about the 5G future technology. It's going to be very interesting to know that also Huawei and Samsung back 3 years ago, they're claiming that there is technology and it's going to be released soon. We haven't heard from them for 3 years. So basically 1G was an analog signal, and there was nothing else in that 1G technology. The first generation of mobile system, it was actually designed in 1970 and first implemented in 1981, as we know. In addition, 1G technology is relied on the analog technology by using the advanced mobile phone system. We call it AMPS, which consists of 7-cell reuse pattern by using frequency modulation, frequency division duplexing, FDD we call it, and frequency division multiple access, FDMA. So therefore, the analog speed signals are provided by the first generation of wireless communication system with low data rate and insufficient data transmission between the base station and mobile user. So it was pretty dull, but at that time very sophisticated. So the second generation of a mobile system was first designed in the 1980s, as I mentioned, and it was first implemented in 1991 due to the need of overcome the issues that they were having with 1G technology. And the third generation 3G of mobile system was first designed in 1990 and was first implemented in 2001, believe it or not. Moreover, 3D technologies provided backward compatibility for 2G and actually 2.5G in order to get a higher speed internet access with different types of browsing and with the browsing applications, because by that time we had so many applications that required the faster and more reliable network. So the fourth generation of mobile system came to the market actually in 2010, but it was first designed in 2000. And the main purpose of 4G technologies was to overcome, of course, the problem of a lower speed in the previous generations. So as you can see, gradually, year after year, the research and development was pretty big for each generation of the of these phones. So what about 5G? Well, before we go to 5G, I have another slide that it's going to be showing that in 2011, believe it or not, 90% of the world's population lived in the areas with 2G coverage. So why is that? People cannot afford, it's a higher cost. We are lucky to live in the United States, and we can afford the high technology. Here in Silicon Valley, we're in the middle of the high tech. So I don't even think, I hardly see the 2G phones here in the area, except for the older people who do not need to text. They just want to make a phone call, and they don't care about seeing the news. They watch TV, they still read a newspaper, and actually that business is slowly dying, and I'm pretty sure that the older people are the only ones who are using these newspapers and using these flip-flop phones, and they just don't care. My mother actually is still using the older phone. But the providers, they are forcing people to give up their older model because it's very, very, they're losing money providing service to these older devices because they have to modify their firmware, their software in order to, for the older phones to operate. So we're going to finish in a few minutes, I know, but we're going to cover the 5G. Like I mentioned before, in August 2013, Huawei announced that there is a technology available for 5G. And they followed by Samsung that announced the 5G technology available. So, but like I mentioned before, there was not a word after that. And what is 5G to us? What does it mean? For somebody who does not understand, I would say that downloading the 2.5-hour movie in 2 seconds, this is pretty much 5G. We're going to be happy to have it by 2020. It's just 3 years left. I hope, how they're claiming, but right now this technology is not available. Guys, I want to thank you today for being with me, and we're gonna continue our lectures on Thursday. So I will see you at 6 o'clock California time. It's we have a different time, all of us. And we just gonna see each other many days after this. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, and have a good night.